Hey, so you want to learn how to do a two-tone look or a Fair Isle pattern with crochet. So obviously this is really simple. This is purely for purposes of showing you guys, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. I'm showing you two methods, giving you the pros and cons to make sure that you find the method that works best for you, whether you are using this with one of my patterns from Onyx and Bone or using this with your own pattern or your own experimentation. I am going to be showing you everything that you need to know. So let's just jump right into the tutorial. All right, so I already went ahead and started to do 2 rows of double crochet. I highly recommend that when you're doing Fair Isle or two-tone work that you do double crochet. It just captures whatever kind of image or pattern that you're trying to do so much better. And so I just did this as a foundation, and I'm gonna be showing you guys 2 methods for doing basically the Fair Isle or, you know, the two-tone look. I'm going in, again, I've already chained 2 and I'm doing double crochet. And I'm just doing something random here. I'm not like following any sort of pattern. This is just purely to be able to show you guys how to do this. Okay, so when you are doing a two-tone look, the change of color of string happens the stitch beforehand. So I'm gonna start off in this stitch. This means that this is a stitch that comes beforehand. And I've already started double crochet. So I'm gonna loop through and pull through twice. And so, you know, typically you loop through and go through the second time, right? But what we're gonna actually do is that we need to start our second color here. So I chose a beautiful black yarn so I can have a lot of contrast, and because obviously these are like my favorite colors, if you guys are familiar with my, you know, shop and brand. So I'm basically completing the double crochet with the black. So what you're gonna see here, you know, pull that tight, you're gonna see that this double crochet is all white, which is exactly what we want because we don't want obviously the color to start in that stitch. We want it to start here, but we do need this top loop to be the color of the next stitch. That's really important, or else it's gonna look totally weird and totally off. So I'm gonna go on and I'm going to, you know, just ignore the previous color that we did and do a double crochet into that chain, just like normal. So you see now how that top loop obviously carries up the top. If we kept it white, then this would be white and that would just look ridiculous, you know. So again, continue for as long as you need that color. If you're just doing one single stitch, then I'm gonna show you what to do when you wanna transition back. It's basically the exact same thing, just backwards. Okay, so I'm gonna transition back. So again, it's the same thing. So we did like half of the double crochet, right? And so we haven't finished it. So we're gonna be taking our white string from behind. It's here. Make sure you don't pull it too tight or else it's gonna start like crimping up your work. And then pull through. So I like to give it like a little stretch and just to make sure that your tension is good. And again, you're just gonna continue as normal. Now, when you do it this way, you really want to make sure that you don't accidentally bring the contrast yarn that you're not using to the front, or else it's going to mess up and you're going to have to undo it. So make sure it's always hanging behind your work. So I have one last one here. Then I'm chaining 2 because this is a double crochet. Okay, so that's the right side. That's how it looks. You see how it's a very clear pattern. There's no like weirdness going on. I'm gonna show you the back. And I'm gonna do one more row so that you guys can see how it looks like when you're also working from behind. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick it. I'm just gonna do the same thing. So you see here, this is the difference between this way of doing it. Because we didn't do anything with this yarn, it's basically just crossed throughout the back. So depending on how your Fair Isle pattern is gonna look, it's gonna be strings all on the back side, which, you know, for a lot of things like a hat or, you know, a rug or whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter because it's gonna be, you know, no one's gonna be seeing the other side. So, you know, depending on what you need it for, it might not be the biggest deal. Okay, so now we have come to the stitch that's right before we're gonna start our pattern. So, you know, to do here, insert, do the first pull through of double crochet. We're gonna leave the white there. I'm gonna take the black and finish off, just like that. So again, you're seeing that it's like carrying through. And then we're just gonna ignore the white. So this is where also it's important, again, now because this is the back, you always want to have the, you know, the strands in the back. You don't want to accidentally push it to the front, because then if you continue to double crochet, it's gonna be hanging off the front, and that's, you know, you're gonna have to undo everything. So double crochet all the way down. And then we're coming on to the last stitch of that color. So we're gonna do only halfway. Again, making sure that the black is towards the front. Using the white to pull through. So that's exactly how it looks like on the backhand side. On the right side or front, this is how it looks. So it looks nice and neat, you know, whatever the pattern you want it to look. So now I'm gonna be showing you guys the second method. So for this one, essentially the difference is gonna be that you're not gonna have these strings crossing. It's gonna hide that. And you might be thinking, oh, that's awesome, I love that. But there are some cons, especially if you use high contrast yarn. You might be able to see through the yarn in between the stitches. So I'll show you exactly what that is. I want to use super high contrast yarn, this like really light color and this dark color, so I can show you exactly what I mean by that. So I wanna make sure both my strings are behind, and then I'm gonna take the black and finish off that double crochet. Now this is where the difference is gonna be. You're basically gonna be taking this and threading it through this white strand. So you're gonna be doing your double crochet, entering into the chain, and then you're also gonna be going behind. You see I'm going behind the white and pulling through the back so it grabs the white. You see how it grabs the white yarn, and then completing your double crochet. And then again, grabbing the chain, going behind the yarn, double crochet. And you're just gonna be continuing that until the end. I kind of just like hold it with these fingers, so it's not too hard. Okay, so last one. So now we're gonna take that white one, pull it through, and then continue. And that's how it looks. So it looks pretty similar to the other one, obviously. And the difference is when we flip it around, you see how the white kind of like, it kind of hides it a little bit more depending on what kind of yarn you're using. Some might hide a little bit more than others. So let me just do this side real quick. So here we are. Again, we want to be grabbing this thread so see a little bit better. So I'm going underneath the chain. I'm also grabbing this from underneath. So here it is, the finished result. And you can see at the top, just like ever so slightly, you can see the little specks of the light, like compared to these two down here. It's very, it's black. Like there's nothing showing through, but you kind of see a little spots. Like it's not the biggest deal. And then you have it nice and neat on the back. So it's honestly just a matter of your preference and what you like, but I want to show you guys both so you know what options you have. And I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and this was helpful to you. If you definitely liked it, definitely give it a like, leave a comment with any kind of tutorials that you want to see, and I will catch all of you in my next video. So bye for now.